I have a crush on food. And today I have a crush on chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate chip cookies are really easy to make homemade, and there's not a lot of variation from cookie recipe to cookie recipe. It really just depends on the texture you like. So these are soft and delicious. I'm going to give you a couple of tricks that will make your chocolate chip cookies better than other people's chocolate chip cookies. So the first thing that I'm going to do is cream together the butter and the sugar. I have 1 cup of butter and 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, which you can find in the baking aisle, and it's solid at room temperature but soft and easy to scoop out. So that's my first trick, is the coconut oil. So to this I'm going to add 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 3/4 cup of regular white sugar. Put your mixer, make sure the butter is soft. So you want to leave it out, let it get to room temperature, and the package should fill the sheet. So you're going to cream these together until they're fluffy. So medium, high speed. Alright, that looks good. Maybe 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes for that. So to this I'm going to add 2 eggs. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Blend that up. Okay, next the dry ingredients. 2 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So that's our dry ingredients, and you're just going to add the dry ingredients into the bigger bowl with the butter and the sugar, just a little bit at a time, and use the mixer to blend it up. So it should take 3 or 4 additions of the dry ingredients before you're done mixing. Okay, all my dry ingredients are in, and the cookie dough is going to be a little bit thick, of course, after you add all the dry ingredients. So we're done with the mixer. The great thing about making your own cookies is you know what ingredients go in them, and they don't have a lot of preservatives. So one thing you'll find is that you probably will prefer them to store-bought cookies for sure. Okay. So another variation on homemade chocolate chip cookies will be the type of chocolate that you use. You want to use a good, high-quality chocolate. You can use, sometimes I use dark chocolate chips, but most of the time I just use semi-sweet, but you want to buy a nice, high-quality brand. So you're going to add 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and then just use the spoon to mix the chocolate chips in evenly into the dough. So my other trick is to put the cookie dough in the refrigerator for 15 or 20, well, you can really leave it in there for a couple of hours if you want to, but at least for 15 or 20 minutes. It hardens the dough a little bit, and your cookies will maintain their shape when they're baking better. So once you get all of the chocolate chips mixed in, just put some plastic wrap over the cookie dough and stick it in the fridge. Okay, I'm going to put the cookies on the pan. I have the oven preheated to 375 degrees, and I've lined my baking sheet with parchment paper because the cookies won't stick and it makes cleanup way easier. And however many cookies you fit on a pan really just depends on the size of your pan, but this recipe makes anywhere between 40 and 48 cookies, just depends on how big you make them. So I just scoop the dough. You have one of those handy little dough scoopers that makes them all the same size, even better. And I'm just going to fill my pan, and these are going to bake for 9 to 11 minutes in the oven. And you want the tops to be kind of a golden brown, the edges a little bit browner, and that's when they're done. So I will be back to show you the finished product. My chocolate chip cookies are done. They have a lovely brown color. They smell great. You can let them cool in the pan for a couple of minutes and then transfer them to a cooling rack to finish cooling. Remember my tips for making delicious homemade chocolate chip cookies. Use a little bit of coconut oil, use high quality chocolate, and stick the dough in the refrigerator before you bake it. I hope that you try my chocolate chip cookies and you love them.